pausing, holding. Hey guys.
What's up? I'm Loren.
And I'm Tori.
And we're,
Once
as
again,
always, very curious. Does
anybody care?
God, I hope so.
You know, at this point,
The one standout for me so far today is I was like sitting on my couch drinking my morning cup of Java, which I've literally never said
Mocha
either
Joe.
of those before, but here we are. And I look outside. I have like a little patio, and there's a freaking squirrel. Just literally.
is it saluting?
What does that mean?
When they like on the ground with arms and legs out.
No.
That's how I learned about swooting in that apartment that we shared together. And yeah, they like sploot on patios when it gets hot.
Aw,
I know, it's really cute. Dogs sploot too. All animals sploot.
I even learned something new today, I guess. But
me and basketball in the 8th grade just splooting on the cold hardwood floor.
Jesus Christ.
Anyways, where was the squirrel?
No, it was just on my patio, and it was just like enjoying the patio view because it was like, you know, lovely morning. And I look out, and then it looked at me, and I looked at it, and I swear to God, I saw like the face of Jesus in its eyes. Like we stared into each other's soul.
And I looked at him.
Literally, shout out. Scandal noted. And then I like slowly reached for my phone so I could take a video, and it looked like it was about to run off. And then it saw that I like wasn't going to do anything scary. Yeah. So then it just like stayed there for a minute and did some cute stuff on my patio. And then it went towards like the little fence area, which is where all my like plants and herbs are. Mm-hmm. And then it like rubbed its tail on my fucking mint. And I was like, that's why I clean my shit before I eat it.
Fucking witch hazel TP. Fucking light your shit on fire.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, it's funny.
But yeah, it was so cute. I like had a little visitor, and but the whole time I was thinking about you because I know you feel the exact opposite about me for squirrels, which hey, it's understandable. But
I wasn't always this cold-hearted towards squirrels.
Tell us your lore.
So it's so icky to remember. Me and my old roommate, Stacey, shout out, still one of my best friends.
Love her.
We're moving into this apartment, and we should have known the day we moved in, Stacey got the keys, and they gave her a Costco-sized box of cocktail peanuts because the squirrels on the property.
Hey, welcome to the neighborhood. By the way, you have roommates you didn't sign up for, but here's something to ward them off.
Here's a pet you don't have to pay a pet deposit for. Stacey and I are like, thanks for the peanuts. Nar. They stood in our pantry the whole year unopened. One time I think I got high and ate them. That was literally it. Never gave them to the squirrels. So we're like, whatever, like, how bad could the squirrels be, blah, blah, blah. They start coming around on the patio. That's how it always goes. Coming around, we're like, whatever. We were on the ground floor. We're, like, right in the woods. So we were like, you know, let's just, like, their home, too. Sure, whatever. Be two.
Sure.
You stay on your side. East side, west side. You stay over there. We'll stay over here. And then, like, one night I was in bed. I was literally in bed. Like, I have it on Snapchat. Check out Instagram. I'll put it on our story. I'm like on Snapchat. I'm Snapchatting either you or Taryn. That was like all I've ever Snapchatted. Past 23.
So special.
And I like hear a rumble. Like I hear an infestation of just MMA fighting in my ceiling. And I'm like, hello. And it's like squeals and shit. And at first I thought it was rats because I like the squealing and there's like, you know, like,
and like it gives this sound. Here's some ASMR for you.
But like more frantic. It was like, it's just the squeals, just like that. And I'm like in my bed and I'm like this. Oh my God, this is it. Like, they're coming to get me. So whatever, it ends. It does it a few more times and then it ends. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to bed. And then a couple days later, it happens again. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I wake up the next day and in our like kitchen, there was a vent like up on the, like right, almost on the ceiling, but very top of the wall. And right below that vent were like peanut shells and peanut carcasses. Bruh. From these squirrels dropping their shits off. And you could hear them running in the vents at all times. It was like, it just progressively got worse and worse throughout the year. And we would like call management. It was the worst management company. If you were management at Onyx in 2022,
Don't say it, but say it.
I'd hate to be an advocate for somebody to lose their job, but you were so bad at it. That's all I say. I'm sure they're not there anymore, hopefully, to the members that live in that community now. So anyways, we called management like seriously 10 times that year, like trying to get them to come out to fix this. They literally never fixed it. We moved out of that apartment, still finding peanut shells on the ground.
Crazy.
And to this day, I feel like actually it's getting a little better. I haven't come in contact with one it's been 3 years since we lived in that apartment. Yeah. So I'm like getting better. But if I see more than one at a time, like a gaggle of them, I'm like taken back to a time where I was like, this is...
Where you were literally infested. Yeah. I mean, it
was a literal infestation.
No, actually. And it sounds just like how the progression was from where it started to basically where you ended, like before you moved and stuff. Like it sounded like they all migrated basically into your ceiling or like your apartment basically. And we're just like reproducing. More and more were coming. They're like, hey, we got the party loft.
Dude,
come
it
on
was
in. Literally
stocking
stocking up on their fucking peanuts. Some of it's even spilling out into your floor because they had so much stocked up on your roof probably, dude.
No, there was a hole right underneath like right above our balcony and like underneath the floor above us.
Yep.
That was where they were getting in because I took a picture of that and I sent it to management every fucking month and was like, this is the hole. Like, I'll get up there with some fucking clay and do it. I don't know what it takes to fill a hole. But it was like me up there Mod Podging this hole in the wall to get these squirrels out.
God.
Yeah, so it was literally
you just
never
have like
fixed.
an air horn. You're like, get out!
Party's over. I start playing Closing Time.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Closing Time. Like the fork out of my roof. Anyways, yeah. So that was honestly the worst apartment I ever lived in because that's not even the worst thing that happened there because that's where I got robbed.
Yeah,
broke right into my apartment, baby.
Honestly, there was a lot of trauma from that apartment for you.
Yeah,
like quite a bit of trauma.
Like that's probably my worst year I've ever had in Austin, honestly.
Damn.
And all of them combined.
Damn.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Easy.
Even more than the snake situation?
Yeah, because at least Snake is in the person, correct? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least I had Aspen shout out in that situation. And like that all went down and we only had like 4 more months in that lease.
Okay.
So it sucked for sure. But that squirrel apartment was
real squirrel.
Oh, yeah, actual squirrel, not person. Was like 11 months of that, and then I got robbed on top of that. So
you probably just never felt safe there. Like you were always on edge. There was always
waiting for a squirrel to come barrling out of
or
a
a person eventually. Like fucking
especially after that happened. Yeah, I was like constantly waiting to be broken into again.
Jesus Christ. But I will say your dad hooked it up and got you the biggest like utility grade.
I have a police grade taser
that I've ever seen. Like
I
that
still
shit
sleep
is
with it by my bed.
Huge.
It's huge. And I did zap it, of course, because I was like, I want to know what the zap looks like. Didn't zap it to anyone because I wasn't 12, but it was like, dude, like it could have lit a fire, bro. It would have stopped you in your tracks. So
even just the sound of it would have been like,
it scared me. Me and Beanie both were in the room like, ah. Yeah. So shout out, my dad was like, never again. Never again.
Well, and luckily, like I will say, at least you weren't in the apartment when it was broken into.
Yeah.
I think that would have been a whole different story. At
least
that's a
you
whole
like
different
weren't
trauma.
There.
Yeah. But it is so the feeling of just coming back into your home and feeling the energies off. And then you slowly are noticing things are different and like moved around, things are missing. And then you see the window and you're just like,
it's the craziest. It's funny that we're talking about this because I literally thought about it last night because that day that I came home, I had worked the ACC drama department like ticket counter for their theater show that night.
Yeah.
And I was like starving. I had not eaten all day. Like this most starving I've ever been. And I had gotten home sliced and I came on my way and I was like, so, you know, when like you're so hungry, you're sick, you can't eat.
For sure.
I was in that phase. So I was like, okay, I'm about to like make myself eat and I'm gonna like watch TV on my laptop and like start getting ready for bed. And that was when I like couldn't find my laptop. And I was like, I only keep it in 2 places. Where's my laptop? And then I started like, it was literally like, this connects to this, and then this connects to this, and this connects to this, and there's a footprint on my pillow, and it wasn't Beanie in my, like, it was like a whole thing, and then the window was open, and then the like thing was cut, and I was like, oh my God, somebody was in here. And I got home last night from work so hungry, almost like that hungry that I was like, haha, this is funny.
That's crazy.
That's like the last time I was like this. And I had like thought about that. Yeah.
Damn, dude. I didn't realize there was like a straight up footprint on your pillow even. That detail is eerie as
footprint
fuck.
on my pillow, and then like it was like muddy because like, or like
it was like
it could have easily been like, oh, from the plants, because that was when I was trying to keep that pilea plant alive, which that's a whole other story for the blog. And Beanie
non-existent blog, but sure, go off
for the chat. And Beanie was obsessed with fucking around in that thing. So like, hindsight, of course, a shoe print has nothing to do. But like when you're so naive, the thought of somebody breaking into your apartment is not even like in your mind.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, just him being a dickhead.
And the mix of like literally not having any food in your system. You've been working. Like there's all these other factors that it's like, of course it's not going to click. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Until I couldn't find any of my shit. And then I was like, hold on. And then, the window was open, or like the screen was cut, and I walked outside, which is always so funny because I think about that next year when I started therapy, and Megan was like, my therapist, shout out to her, was like, so you walked outside alone? We should unpack that. She was like, we need to unpack that. And I was like, do we? Mm-hmm. I walked like, right outside.
In every scary movie, that's how the first person gets fucking killed, dude.
I know. But if we're living in a scary movie, I want to go for. I'm not trying to survive to the end to where they tape us in the chair finally, or like tie us in the chair. I'm trying to die first. Do not take me to the end of the movie. If this is a horror movie, I'll be the stupid bitch that walks outside to check on the noise if it means I get to go first.
Yeah.
Least amount of suffering.
I mean, you're not wrong. But I think my mentality in this particular situation, because that's normally my mentality if it's like end of the world or like zombie apocalypse, fucking take me out immediately. Yeah. But like in this particular situation, I've never said particular like that, by the way. I like if you stay inside and then you're in a safe place, there is no end of the scary movie because you're not going to be abducted whatsoever. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
For sure. But like that also wasn't my mind. It was like such fight or flight, which I like had to know for sure. Yeah. And me going around a house is how I saw the screen was like cut open, and everything that was on my windowsill was outside on the ground. So that was the exact moment where I was like, oh shit! And I did grab my remotes off the mud and ran back in the house.